Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you for coming out here on this cold, wet and rainy day. The upstairs has been full all afternoon. Thank you so much for also bringing your children here, and we hope that you picked up the message that we're trying to portray. We have for us, right, slightly different, a pair of dancers. These guys run their own club in Sunderland. They have danced in the continent. In fact, even on Friday, Adina was actually dancing with the choreographer from Strictly Come Dancing. We're really, really pleased to have them here. Ladies and gentlemen, a slight round of applause, not too loud, right, for Nico and Adina, ladies and gentlemen. And should any of you want to learn to start dancing, if you come and speak to them, I'm sure they'll help you out. We do all dances for beginners, young, small, old, aged, whoever. 2 left feet, especially. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand you back right to the young lady that's actually looking after us right throughout the afternoon. Again, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
So, now, I'm going to ask you all to do something. So, I've left it a bit kind of ambiguous, so it's do, take, you know, let us know. And hopefully, it'll make sense once we go through. So, the first part is do take a stand. And in this part, I would like you to consider Middlesbrough. Can we achieve living in the Doughnut by 2050? So, on your post-it notes, can you all see this? So, number 1 is yes, we can. Number 2 is whether or not we should aim for the donut. So whatever, we should aim for it. Number 3, whether or not we should aim for something else. What that is, who knows? Or, no, we cannot. So, on your post-it notes, if you can write the number, either 1, yes we can, 2, whether or not we should aim for the donut, or 3, whether or not we should aim for something else, or number 4, no we cannot. Does everybody have that? Or so we can all stick them on our foreheads. No. So I'm just give us 2 ticks. So the yes we cans, the number 1s, stick them up there. The number 2s, stick them here on this square, this brickwork. On the number 3s, which is whether or not we should, whether or not we can, we should aim for the something else. And number 4, no, we cannot. So, if everybody would like to come up and put their sticker wherever it is that they would like to go.
Just be positive.
Yeah.
Just one number. Yeah. Do you want a reason why? One number or one reason?
Just the number.
Take the essay off.
You can put the reason why after as well. So this is looking really quite positive. So I would think we've got the 1s have it. Yes, we can. Pretty impressive. Now, does anybody want to stand up and give a reason for a number 1? It would be great if you could also write down on a post-it note any comment that you have on that, and we can put that up there as well. But anybody want to come up and say why?
Can I just stand here and so I said, yeah, sure, why not? Like number 1, but there's a hell of a lot of steps in between saying that and actually achieving it by 2050 or whatever date. Yeah, I feel like there's got to be some communication with MPs, the council. It's one thing for us to decide. I think we need their support as well. You can achieve it. So sure, why not? You can achieve it. If people believe it's a good idea, you can get behind it. But, yeah, there's a hell of a lot of steps in between that. So.
No, that's great. So that's just to recap there. To recap on that is, yeah, there's a lot to happen, a lot of steps to take, a lot of communication. People need to change. Organisations, businesses, local authorities, politicians, they all need to think differently. So that's really interesting. So what about anybody in number 2? Don't feel ashamed. This is just about, how you feel things are at the moment. Somebody's actually written something. Oh no, that was me. So, nobody wants to say about number 2?
I'm glad I'm outnumbered by the number 1.
Yeah,
really. I obviously think I must be, but I just would have gone for it anyway, regardless of what happens. But I hope one's actually is right.
No, that's great. Thank you. And what about number 3, which is whether or not we should aim for something else? 2 or 3 up there? Does anybody want to make a comment on? Sorry? Yeah, no, that's the one, so I can remind myself what was up there.
Yeah. I think a donut is too restrictive. I don't want to work within a restricted donut. I want a socialist revolution, and I want it now.
Well, anybody here wants to join this? But what I will add is that this point about it being restrictive, it's worth checking out about whether it is restrictive, because every single place needs to consider what is appropriate for them, and what is considered restrictive is a question to be considered. So, hopefully, we can learn a lot more. And what about number 4?
I don't think we've got that time. I don't think we've got the luxury of changing before 2050. I think we've got to do it really, really quickly. And I don't think 2050 is not realistic for us to have that luxury of thinking we've got 30 years to do this. I think we've really got to shift it and do it as dramatically and as fast as we can, with or without support. It's a date that's saying that if we can't do it, we can't. We'll leave it in 2040 before we even start. Be amazing.
No, I think that's the fair comment, and I think everybody has their own opinions, and I think that needs to be considered. And it's important to know some of the points you mentioned about time, is it is crucial. There's a lot of things that we need to act upon as soon as possible. We're in a consistent period of crisis after crisis, whether it's the energy crisis, whether it's climate change, you name it, cost of living, there is a whole range of things. But at that point, you know the date, it is a challenge. So, what I would ask is, does anybody want to change their mind now? No? Okay. I'm spot on time. But if anybody wants to write any comments, please do on the reasons why they chose whichever number. That would be really helpful. And likewise, we can change our minds. So, moving on. Do you know? What can you do? Anybody want to give me an example of what you might be able to do? Or I'll click on. So this is a really good example. Unfortunately, it's EastEnders, which is in my part of the world where I was born and bred. But we could hope that it could be in Emmerdale, maybe closer to home next time. So this is an interesting thing which hopefully will give you an idea about what you can do.
Let me guess. Mars? Order on the ring. That's a criminal. Planets?
It's starting to get it. My girl is she's all over economics.
Doughnut Economics.
Sure. One of our cheesecakes,
The goal of the Doughnut is to make sure nobody falls in the hole in the middle, so everybody has the essentials of life, whilst staying within the means of the living planet. That way, the people and the universe can thrive. Sustainability. Heard of it?
Fascinating.
Look it up.
Tell him, baby.
Global livestock production makes a huge amount of greenhouse gases. They need to be reduced to save the planet.
Hey, told you. Plant-based. It's the future. My kid.
Meat is yada 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 yada.
It causes deforestation and pollution. Don't you care that there are floods and droughts?
Well, I'll just start building right now then, shall I? Look, I don't make any money, me.
So I hope you found that a little bit interesting. Did anybody know that Doughnut Economics had been mentioned on popular TV, EastEnders? Anyone? Peg? BBC? EastEnders? Did you know about Doughnut Economics on EastEnders? Nobody else? If it was on Emmerdale, I bet you would. Anyway, right, moving on. So, but that clip really serves to kind of offer you some kind of inspiration that a young girl sitting there with her dad, and somebody comes up to her and says, "Oh, what are you learning about? Saturn? Or was it, no, it was Mars." And the dad had to correct him, but no, she started the conversation on Doughnut Economics. So, going back to what can you do, does anybody want to think or give a guess what the first one might be? Spread the word, was that? Talk to people. Tell others. Whenever you get the chance, you know, cost of living, energy crisis, climate change, the crustaceans going off and dying out of the northeast coast, opportunity. There's anything. Doughnut Economics can be tailored and brought into a conversation quite easily. So, moving on to the next one. Anyone want to take a guess? You might want to learn more. You can do things, look on YouTube, there's plenty there. There's plenty of information on the Doughnut Economics Lab. If you haven't got links to that, we can provide you with that information. And moving forward, knowing what you would like to learn or what you want to know more about is let us know. And the third one, get involved. You're here today, that's fantastic. Where do you want to go from here? Do you want to get directly involved with the group? Do you want to set up your own little group in your own little neighbourhood and your community to talk about it and then share that information with the larger group? It's a great opportunity. But that's just a thought from me. Let's see what people would like to do. So, that is for you to have a ponder about for the next few minutes about what you would like to do. Now, there's some pledge cards. Can everybody see this on the screen? And there should be on your table some pledge cards. So, if you can put your name and email address, or if you haven't got an email address, you could just put your normal address, and then write what pledge that you would like to do. It could be anything, as simple as just mentioning it and talking to people about it. It could be that I want to learn more, I want to check out websites, or get involved to contact Boro Doughnut and see what you can help in terms of contributing to that work. What we're going to do with those pledges is we will take a photograph of them and email them to you or post them to you. Definitely in 12 months' time, to remind you, but we might send you it in a week's time just to remind you and keep you up to date, to say this is what you said. We might then make it again in a month, and then we might do another email in 6 months. And then we might, well, no, we will, definitely in 12 months' time, send you an email to see, so that you can have a look. And then each of those emails, you can respond and say, well, this is what I've done, or not. Choice is yours. And I think I'm just about coming to my 10-minute slot on that. So is everybody happy with that? Okay.
Do you want to just mention the post boxes at the end of the table at the end there? They can just put their post on there.
So I've been informed at the end of the table. Can someone put their hand up where the?
I'll go bring it here.
All right. Well, no. John's going to bring it down here. So if you can put your pledges in this box that John brings down. While John's doing that, we'll move on to the next. And I'm sure hardly anybody up the back is going to be able to see this. But this is really to get an understanding about you before you came to this event or you heard about this event. So, again, very similar to numbering is put on a post-it note for number 1 that you had not heard about Doughnut Economics until this event. Number 2, that you'd heard about Doughnut Economics, but knew very little about it. And number 3, that you were aware and had some understanding about Doughnut Economics. And number 4, that you had a good understanding about Doughnut Economics. So, if anybody wants me to come up the end and go through it again, if they can't hear what the numbers are. In fact, don't worry, I will do exactly the same. You can come up and have a look. I've written it on little post-it notes. Okay, so exactly the same as before. Put your post-it notes on the 1, 2s and 3s and 4s that I put up now. Thanks. So here's the 1s. The 2s that you heard about Doughnut Economics, but knew very little. Number 3, that you were aware and had some understanding of Doughnut Economics. And 4, that you had a good understanding of Doughnut Economics. So it looks like, if I'm correct, is it the 2s and the 3s have it? So yeah, 2 heard about Doughnut Economics but knew very little about it, and 3 aware and had some understanding. So that's quite interesting. Is there anybody here who hadn't heard of it, Doughnut Economics, before? Interesting, so you're curious. Great. And what about those who, number 2, anybody want to say anything about those that had heard about Doughnut Economics but knew very little about it? Or number 3, that they were aware and had some understanding about what Doughnut Economics was? Or they had a good understanding? Anybody want to give a comment? Well, now's your chance, because, you know, this is what I want to know from here is, since today, what's changed? So again, everybody with a post-it note. Number 1, that you're confused. Number 2, about the same. Number 3, I know more. Number 4, I want to know more. Number 5, I want to find out how I can get involved. So, do you want me to repeat through that? Or I can do exactly the same, but I'm running out of wall space, so I'm going to keep it over here. So, 1, confused. 2, about the same. 3, I know more. 4, I want to know more. 5, I want to find out how I can get more involved. What's that? Now, I'm hoping it's all the kids who are going to put down here how I want to get involved.
Here's number 2.
That's really good. Nobody was confused. A number of people about the same, that's okay. 3, I know more, nobody's there, but interestingly, I want to know more. And 5, I want to get involved, or find out how to get involved, is really interesting. So, on those, if you can write a comment, a suggestion about what it is that you think that you can offer, it's a bit like your pledge. It doesn't have to be about you, but just think generally. You know, it could be that I have skills such as web design, I like talking to people, I'm creative, but put those suggestions down, I'll leave it up to you. So for the next few minutes, if you can do that, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Yep, you can put them anywhere on there, the comments. So, if you haven't any comments or suggestions, write it on any post-it note, whatever colour it is, and just stick them there up on the wall, wherever you want. If you know if it was relevant to one of the questions, put it there. If not, don't worry. We can still sift through those. So, everybody happy with that? Cheers.
Yes, hello, my name's Amanda. I'm the founder and CEO of the Creative Rise, a social enterprise based in Knaresborough, the creator of the Hive 2030 roadmap, but most importantly, the mum to Mia, Finn and me. And today I thought I'd talk about creative genius and the human potential that I believe our children's generation is capable of, with our support and guidance. To share with you a personal story of what I've witnessed in my own children. In the last few years we've had a very difficult time, and I've witnessed the imagination, the emotional intelligence, the adaptability, the resilience in my own children as we have reimagined and built a new life together. From one living in the Middle East in a very elitist, materialistic life with the greatest carbon footprint a family could possibly have, to a new life in social housing, dependent at times on food banks, and learning to grow our own food together in the allotments and in our own garden. And we don't have a car, so we do a lot of walking. The life we live now is full of joy and laughter, creative freedom, expression, and I feel incredibly grateful for the shift that we unexpectedly went through. I believe that everyone has an incredible creative genius within them to thrive and reimagine a better way to live, more connected to nature because it is instinctual. It is human nature to be inventive, innovative, creative, and we lose it through belief systems installed in us, indoctrinated through our education systems that serve industry, capitalism, and consumption. But I believe a new narrative is emerging, and our children are acutely tuned into it. Narratives of self-expression, a connectedness to nature, compassion for humanity, and a growing defiance towards elitism and injustice. I believe so deeply that our children are going to be the most amazing, divergent thinking, adaptable, problem-solving, compassionate, loving, and self-loving adults who can thrive in the future that we're already creating together. I sense that they will break outdated belief systems and in doing so create a whole new reality, a new paradigm, new narratives that will gently start to heal the collective trauma within our families, within our communities, and the environment and the planet. Something truly inspiring is at play here, and we can all be part of it. We all have a role to play. There is a knowing in each of us that we can change, we can see the change, make the change that we want to see in the world. And a knowing innately within our children too. A knowing, a trust, a faith of what we can become. The best thing we can do is to help our children step into their greatest potential, unrestrained, to trust that inner knowing, because they were born for this moment and we were born to guide them. And it's our responsibility and duty to do so for future generations also. And this community event is absolutely testament to that guidance at play. I met my dear friend Emmy while studying a Masters of Regenerative Action, and together we learned the latest facts on environmental, climate and biodiversity degradation and decline, which sent me into a pretty dark existential crisis. But out of the necessity and determination that Emmy and I saw to make change, came an inventiveness, an ambition and drive to serve our communities. Recently we've come together with 3 locations across Yorkshire, Hull, Wakefield, Sheffield, Knaresborough and Middlesbrough. And we're sharing ideas, what we've learnt, our stories, tools and practices to all help each other step into building that new reality. Frameworks like Doughnut Economics can show us where communities are at and helps us to indicate the problem areas that we need to focus on. But perhaps it would also be really helpful to have a collective game plan, a roadmap to help us get us there. And that's where the Hive 2030's roadmap can help. The Hive stands for Heart-Led Intentional Visions for the Environment. And the idea behind the Hive is that all of us as individuals can contribute our unique pounds of honey, like bees, to the hive, and that our local communities can contribute its unique honey to the regional hives and the regional to the global hive, the global human hive. The Hive's roadmap has 8 themes relevant to homes, schools and grassroots action, and kicks off on Earth Day each year, running from April 22nd to December until the year 2030. The themes are soil and food, circular trends, renewable energy, biodiversity, clean air and water, optimisation and adaptation, regenerative economies and new future stories. The roadmap's themes and objectives are inspired by a number of other frameworks and initiatives that make up its DNA, like Doughnut Economics, One Planet Living, Integral City Meshworks, the Human Hive, Earth Charter, Transition Network, Global Eco Village, and the Community Action Networks of the Alternative UK. But the funnest thing about the roadmap is that it was imagined initially through stories made up by Mia, Finn and Bee. And they might not realise it yet, but they are the master creatives behind this work, which we developed together as a way for MIMOs, the Masters of Invention, Mindfulness and Optimism, to save Mimoverse. Together we took the same pathway as a game plan for the Earth Punks program, which we carry out with school children, and now we've created this relatable, consistent action plan for communities. Thanks, guys. My little helpers. Through the Creative Rise, we propose that the most effective and fun way to make change together, intergenerationally, and across our communities is through creative playfulness, finding ways together to reimagine how we eat, dress, shop, move about, keep ourselves warm, do our laundry, share tools and facilities and the cooking, how we work, rest and play in a way that we are taking better care of ourselves, each other, our families, our communities and the planet, allowing it to regenerate and thrive along with our creative spirit. We can unleash the greatest potential within us and the natural world. The future is bright and the future is right here. Thank you.
Wow, wasn't that wonderful? What a great way to finish this event. That was really fabulous. Thank you so much, Amanda. I just want to take us back to Mia right at the start. Give us a wave, Mia. Mia said to us, she said, I need your help because this has got to change. And we've got that note of hope there. There's been just so many fabulous conversations. Tell you what, I don't really know Boro much, I'll be honest, because as I say, I'm further down in Yorkshire, down the bottom bit. But, there's obviously so much going on here. You are doing so much. There's so much to build on. There's such a commitment that you've got a really good place to start from. And one of the things I think is so good about Doughnut Economics is it gives us a tried and tested, academically rigorous way of looking at economies in a totally different way that puts people and the planet right at the heart. And as we were saying right from the beginning, if now isn't the time to talk about actually how the current system is failing us and how playing with the current system is not necessarily in the interest of all of us, then there really isn't a better time to do it. So, just to finish off, some thoughts I've had listening to you all today. Themes that I think have come through really strongly. That one, you've got so much here. Build on what you've got. You've got a lot going on. Grow your own. Build on it all. Make it the Boro version. Now, on the table up there earlier, when I was just walking past, I saw someone had written down on a green post-it note, which was what's really great about Boro. They'd written Palmer on it, right? So I don't know who wrote it, so we've got that. Anyway, going back to that thing, build on what you've got and what's yours. Do you know what I mean? So you've got an internationally famous food here that no one else has. I was going to say something really Yorkshire then that began with B. They said no other, it's got it. That you have, do you know what I mean? So you've got a big start there on food. You've got a real industrial heritage here as well to build on. Do you know what I mean? What is the Boro flavour? Build on it, make it happen, make it yours, and say there's a different way we can do this. Inclusion came through really strongly. That has been such a message today. This is a really diverse town. And you've got a really strong, diverse community to build on. Just kind of connect and talk and communicate. And that's one of the things that came through was how do you do that? I'm not surprised actually, because I think that comes up everywhere, that how's the best way to be able to do that. So, some ideas just to finish off. Make sure you like the Boro Doughnut Facebook page. It's on there. Go and scan the QR code that Emmy was telling everybody about, which is for the Middlesbrough Community Action Now Facebook group. Get on there, start sharing stuff. Have you got a general Boro Facebook group, which isn't about Doughnut Economics or whatever, which is just the general one for people who live here, right? There must be one where most people put things like, does anyone know what time Tesco shuts tonight? Or, do you know what I mean? Have you got a Facebook group like that? No, but there must be a Boro group. There is.
But I can't remember what it is.
Get on it, take it over, start talking about the concepts of Doughnut economics in it. To make it real and people will start talking to you about it.
I can tell you the one in Hartlepool. It says only in Hartlepool. But yeah, you have to
Okay,
go and
yeah.
check that one out.
Yeah, there will be one. Take it over. Start saying who wants to swap things, who wants to do things, who wants the spare food from my allotment. You know, all of that. Go and do that. And also, I understand there are regular meetings and stuff, so put your name and address in the post box or your email, phone number, whatever, and they will get back to you. Massive thanks to the organisers of this event, to Emmy and to Geeta there who have organised it, to Mima here, to Local Motion, to Hope Foundation. So the last thing there is to do before we absolutely finish is for me to hand over to Bob, who's going to formally finish and close this conference for us. And then you're free to go, but as I say, I do want to speak to some of you on the way out. So, Bob, could I give you the microphone for you to formally finish this event?
Yes. Thanks. Thanks everyone. I'm conscious of time, so I'm going to go a bit fast. Can I begin by saying how knocked out I was by the song sung by Robin Dale earlier on, written by Graham Miles, living in Middlesbrough, died not so long ago. And if you're interested in hearing more of his music, there's a folk club in Middlesbrough, the Ring of Iron, which is the title of his most famous song about Teesside, Ring of Iron around the town. It's every Monday. If you go, not sorry about that. Every month, it's at the Newport Church, the chapel, isn't it? So if you go online and have a look at the Ring of Iron Folk Club, it's wonderful music, and Robin sings there every month. However, basically I want to say, here we are on a Sunday afternoon in downtown Middlesbrough. However many of us there are, you're in a long tradition of people who get together to talk about the affairs of the village, the community, the city, the state, etc. You can take a couple of examples. I'll take the Greeks, the Athenians, where the men, the free men, not the women, not the slaves, they could have the right to come and discuss how the state should conduct its affairs. There were a group of free men who chose not to come and take care of, cultivate their own garden, if you like, their own businesses. And they were called the idiotos. Idiotos, and I won't tell you, well, of course, what that gives us. That doesn't mean to say that people who don't come out on Sunday afternoons like this are all idiots, of course not. But it's just a way of saying, putting yourselves in a long line of people who do care enough to get out of the house and come along and meet other people. Second example I would take, anyone know the motto of Middlesbrough? Again? Erimus, which means we shall be. Two elements to that. It's the future. I should first of all begin by saying they chose that because the land on which Middlesbrough was built originally belonged, or partly belonged, if you go back far enough, it was to the Bruce family, which is a Norman family, Robert the Bruce family connection. And their family motto was, Fuimus, we have been. We go back a long way, we're ancient, etc. So the people who set up Middlesbrough said, we haven't been, but we shall be. So two elements to that, the optimism, the future, the confidence in the future, and the collective, we shall be. It wasn't I shall be, you shall be, we shall be. And I like that. And you've got that optimism, the fact that you've come out here to talk and listen to each other. And say thank you for coming out, and I'll see you at more events like this. Can I pay a particular tribute? Lots of people have made this event possible. Emmy has knocked herself out. She has been absolutely superb. And there's always a duty, of course, there is a prize that all shall have prizes. Well, in this case, it's Anthony Silver. Is Anthony here? Anthony, would you like to come up, please, and receive this award? Thank you. there's an award to all those who contributed and included the word donut in their effort. So again, without further ado, can I pass over to...
Okay, you'll be pleased to know that I'm not going to make a speech, and I don't need you for a speech either, so thank you very much. The only thing I want to do, right, all of you, it's like an endurance test. You've managed to make it here to the end. Well done, guys. What I'm going to ask you to do is try and get every single person crammed up here so we can take a mass photo of all the people that are left. So I'm going to invite you up. Don't be shy. Put your bags down. Look like you're going to stay. Come and join us. I don't care if you don't want your photo taken. It's non-optional. Up you get. Come on. Be brave. That's it. We want to at least show them we did have some people here. Yeah? That's it, everyone, helpers, everyone, photographer, all of you up here, presenter, timekeeper. That's it, up we come, all of you.